What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I wanted to just do a tutorial showing you guys one of the looks that I have been doing with my Project Pan makeup. So I will have, of course, that video linked down below, kind of demonstrating this Project Pan for the last month or two of the year. And yeah, if you're interested in seeing how I created this look, I'm gonna focus in on the Project Pan items and skip through all the non-Project Pan items. But anyways, if you're interested in seeing how I created this look, just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so I figured because I'm not going to be doing an update for hopefully my successful 12 pans of Christmas, I decided I was just going to do kind of a get ready with me with some of the items. Now I don't really have anything to talk about, but I figured I'd show you one of the looks that I was really excited about and I'm still excited about when I started this project. So I'm just putting on my primer. Today I decided to stick with my more mattifying primer because I've had this for way too long and I really want to get use out of it. And this is my Soap and Glory One Heck of a Blot. It's actually a really nice mattifying primer. The only reason I really don't talk about it much is because I'm not really into like the overly mattifying situation anymore. Like, you know, I like it. Obviously, I'm an oily skin person, but I like more of a satin finish. So it doesn't really fully match my aesthetics anymore. Of course, I'm using my Dior foundation and just really beating her in. I didn't really actually have to squeeze anything out. That's the one good thing about once you get to the point where you can like have your squeeze bottle sitting upside down, it pretty much just kind of seeps out of the container. So that's nice. Just doing my best to blend this into my hairline and to my ear line, all of those things, under my chin, all of it. So yeah, super easy on that. Then we're gonna get some concealer. This is my Maybelline Better Skin concealer. I don't really use much, which is why this has lasted for so long, but because it's a little off, that's another reason why I don't use much. The color is just a little too light for my preferences, but I'm really excited for the two concealers that I have coming because of all the sales. So they should be getting to my house soon, and then I will be what's it called? I will be I'll be using them, testing them out. Probably only one of them at a time, and I did get the Fenty one. Insanely excited about that. And I actually went in store and made sure that it was the right shade and it was perfect for me. So I guessed perfectly correctly. Now I'm gonna go into my cream bronzer that I'm trying to get some use out of. Oops, put a little bit too much on that cheek, but it's okay. We'll work her in. And I just use this exact same sponge, just different aspects of the sponge, or different areas if you will. And that's how I get it to blend. When I'm finished blending out the product and I want to blend it into what's already on my face, I just go to the side that I had my foundation on and just blend her that way. I did forget to put some bronzer around my nose. I do tend to do that. It's just a habit. I'm not particularly like trying to get my nose to be smaller. It's a habit to put cream bronzer over there. Okay, next we reach for La Powder. My powder that I'm trying desperately to get rid of is this Becca powder. It's a good powder. I'm just over it. I'm just completely over it, and over loose powders right now. I'm not really in the mood to deal with the mess, but c'est la vie. I really don't want to have this powder next year, and I have an unfortunate feeling that I'm still gonna have it because there's still a lot of product in this container. This product came with a whole lot of product, and I like the color. This is like a lavenderish color, and it actually does work with my complexion. I can make it work just as long as I don't over powder, and I blend in some things and it works out. But it can be a bit much if you take it too far and you don't really blend her in and make sure that it's seamless. It can be bad. So I pretty much use this to set my whole base, pretty much my foundation area, and I leave the area with the cream bronzer alone. I do not set it with this spot. So you can see how light that area is, and then the other area actually looks like it's my color. Yeah, that's my life. But yeah, I like the powder. It's a really good powder. I'm over it. Now what I do is I go into my powder bronzer, which is my e.l.f. baby. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and use a new brush today, only really because the brushes, or the pan is exhibiting some signs of a little bit of hard pan, and that generally happens when the oils of your skin really have some fun. But also because I don't set my powder bronzer or my cream bronzer anymore until I get to the powder, I just really want to make sure I'm consistently cleaning my brush and changing my brush to make sure that that doesn't continue to happen. So this is a rougher brush. I believe this is the 05. I've had this for going on, I want to say 2 years probably. I do enjoy the brush. It is small, but I do like it. And I don't think I ever purchased their bigger bronzer brush like I had intended. Life just happened, you know, so yeah. But still just packing this on more or less just to kind of set that area. And then now I really swoosh into my bronzer and I really just go in. This is the layer that most people will not do because they're sane and they don't feel the need to have as much bronzer as I do. But then there's me, putting as much bronzer as I want on and living my best life. So it be that way. So yeah, that's pretty much my bronzer attire situation. And then what I like to do is decide if I want to just do just cream highlighter, or I'm sorry, let me go back. I decide then if I want to do just powder highlighter or if I want to do powder and cream. For today, I just want to do powder. I don't feel like going through the movement of doing cream and powder. And yeah, so I'm gonna just use the powder highlighter that is currently in this project. If I didn't say before, just go ahead and check out down below. I will have my intro video down there for you all. And this is the highlighter. It is gorgeous in my opinion. It really works with my complexion, but also with my undertone. It is a warmer toned highlighter, and I find that regardless if it's summer, winter, spring, these warmer toned highlighters just work better with my skin. Don't get me wrong, I can still rock a cool tone highlighter and not care whatsoever, but I find that these just work phenomenally with my skin. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, so next what I need to do, or what I'd like to do, is put on a blush. I'm gonna go with my cream. So this is my cream blush from Danessa Myricks. This is my favorite one of the two that I have, and this is in the shade Rustic. I'm just looking for a good brush. I've never actually used this with this. Let's go with it. What's the worst gonna happen? So this is actually the Fenty Beauty. I believe this is actually their bronzer brush. It is, but I find that it's a little too small for the method of bronzer that I use. So with this, I just dab a little bit of the product and I smooth it out on my hand, and then I apply it on my cheeks. This is a very warm but neutral shade on me. It's a warm shade, but it's a warm undertone, but it's a neutral shade more or less, and I love this blush. This is one of the reasons that I have honestly fallen in love with cream blush, is this shade right here. I do have another one from Danessa, but this is honestly my favorite of the two, and I believe this was actually the one that was in a project pan at one point, that I've just kind of not necessarily called quits, but you know, it is what it is. So that is the blush on there, and I find that when I do that, sometimes I lose my highlighter, but I like to layer them anyway, so I'll just take what is left on my brush and just do that, you know, and I still feel like it's not as overly pungent. Or if you want to be that froggy, you can just add just a little bit on the brush just to get them to kind of harmoniously, am I trying to say harmony? You get what I'm saying, right? Hopefully. So that is that. I really like this base. It looks really, really nice. And we're moving. So what I'm gonna do is actually hop off camera. All the other stuff is not super necessary. I'm gonna do my lips really quickly, and I'm gonna do my brows, and then I will come back and do my eyeshadow with you guys, showcasing 2 of the 3 eyeshadow palettes that I really wanted to work on in this project pan. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've done one eye, and I want to show you guys pretty much what I do. So first, of course, I take my primer and I prime my eyes. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. Feel free to use whatever primer you have, or you're trying to use up, or whatever have you, and just go ahead and apply it to your eyes. Because this is a cream formula, I tend to keep it lower and then blend up top. It just makes it for a more seamless look at the end, and it doesn't look as choppy, but you do what you gotta do. And yeah, you do what you gotta do. I don't really know what to say. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is go into my ABH palette first, and I'm gonna go into Real Gar, which is the orange. So we're just going to take a really nice fluffy brush, and oh no, the table's broken, I forgot. Actually, I'm sorry. First, I'm gonna go into the shade Raw Sienna, and this is going to be my transition shade, all in my crease. That's the only place I'm putting it, just to transition from my primer to my look. And it also is actually pretty close to like my skin, so it honestly, it goes away pretty easily. Anyways, then taking the same brush and going into Real Gar, which is the same orange that I just showed you, and this is going to be the main matte shade in this look. So take your time when you're building your look and all of that jazz. So we are just going to build her. And very simple, subtle look, but I'm digging it, y'all. Then I'm taking my BK pencil brush, and I'm going to go into Cypress Umber, which is the brown, and I'm gonna deepen my look out. So for this look, of course, I'm gonna try and keep this shade lower overall than the orange, but I'm also not going to go all the way in as well, because this is going to be a very impactful shade. Take your time, don't take too much, and always go away, you can always go back to that first brush and blend her out, and that way you won't have as, it won't be as emphasized. You can always add more of the original shade. Do whatever you feel you need to do to get what you want to get, you know? I'm just going to keep going back and forth between these two brushes until I get my desired outcome. Okay. Pretty simple, pretty easy. That's pretty much the matte look. I am just going to really quickly do the same thing to my bottom lash line. So go there and then take that exact same blending brush. I'm indifferent to using big blending brushes on my lower lash line and just connecting. Always connecting. There we go. All right, so everything is pretty much set. The only thing I need to do now is do my lid shade, and I'm just going to take a flat brush, and this is when I'm going to reach into my colored Raine palette, and I'm going to go into the shade Noble Woman right here, and I am going to apply her. Now, because this is a pretty metallic formulation, I don't feel the need to spray my brush. You can. It's just going to emphasize and sharpen it just a little bit more, but like I said, I don't feel the need. And I did do a structured look this time, so I'm really focusing on sticking with my lid size and going slightly above it and then going over. And if you're wondering, this is a MAC 242. Then I'm just going to take a little bit of that same shade and just put it in the front of my lower inner or lower lash line, if you will. And then I'm going to take a new pencil brush, and then I'm going to go into the shade Vermeer, which is the lightest pinky toned shade in my Modern Red. So I'm going to take that and just pack her right in the middle, and then slightly in the front of my upper lid. And that's pretty much the look. The only thing that I need to do now is to do my waterline and to do my mascara. So I'm going to hop off camera really quickly, do that, and then show you guys my finished look.